Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all have had a great new year. We've finally returned from, our holiday travels.
Balgruuf, just tell them. Everyone knows you got so drunk, you somehow ended up on Solstheim and got lost for a while.
Good thing I didn't have too much of that stuff.
Onik Jor. I remember dragon cult parties getting really out of hand whenever that Daira brought his fire water.
All right already. I don't even know how in blazes I made it to Goddamn Solstheim. I woke up and was completely out of it, mining some rock while wearing a weird mask.
You what?
Well, this just took an unexpected turn.
It was weird. We just kept sculpting some stone, and repeated the same few sentences over and over again.
Lot May. You were hypnotized by Mirak, you moron. How is it you broke free?
Irilet slapped me. Really hard. After conjuring gauntlets and casting Fortify Strength on herself.
Ouch.
I remember that elf assassin. A week ago, she somehow appeared before me out of nowhere, with her sword already unsheathed. Then she saw the empty tankards and maids cleaning my studio, and immediately proceeded to yell at Galmar, asking whether some Breton named Sam Gaven was around here.
He calls himself Sam Gaven these days. Real subtle there.
Guys, the producer wants to get on with the questions.
And who might you be?
He's the intern I was talking about. He'll read the questions for us, and we'll answer.
Jor, do you have a name?
Yes, Dragon God, sir. My name is Frederick.
Intern will suffice.
Intern. Give us the first question, then.
As you wish. First question by Noah Who. Of all of the races you've come to love and despise, which do you think would be tastiest in a stew? What drink would you pair with that stew?
Great. A Namira cultist. We're off to a great start here.
So to whom is this question addressed?
He didn't specify. I'm assuming that whoever wants to can take this question.
Alduin, don't you eat mortals?
I don't eat flesh. I swallow souls in Sovngarde.
So you do eat humans, but not their bodies.
Let's go at this with some level of intellectualism. When we farm livestock, what do? We try to bulk them up and keep them disease-free and clean. With that, we can already rule out all other races besides Dunmer, because all of you are disgusting, unclean Enwas. Of course, we would deliver the superior taste in a stew, though I'm not sure about what drink I'd pair it with.
I can tell you what I want to drink right now. Balgruuf's special brew. Just so I can forget about that question.
Next question by Marcel Panov, 8801. Alduin. I'm really struggling with learning Dovazul. Since you are a native speaker, I wanted to ask for some tips and advice on how to learn it more effectively.
Ask Parthunax. His Tahrodis ass was the entire reason why you mortals learned to use the Thuum in the first place.
He also asks, do you have any quests for me? I'm not the protagonist, but I do know the Grease release spell.
My army could always use new recruits. I'd, need some details on that spell first, though.
That person has a few more questions, but we'll save those for later. Here's a question for Alduin by Anthony Lopez. He's asking why you saved Dovahkiin.
I didn't exactly save him. Hold on, let me put this in a perspective for you. So here's me, firstborn of Akatosh. I just got out of a weird time portal, and all of my friends seem to be gone from this world. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. As I'm searching for my old friends, I feel the presence of a living dragon soul, which piques my interest. So I fly there, sit down on a roof, and try to initiate some tinvak with the mortal who carries the soul of a Dova within. What do the Majur around Dovahkiin do? They immediately rain arrows upon me. So I rained meteors back. They deserved it.
He asked another question. This one is for Ulfric. Why did you use the Thum on High King Torig?
Because people were spreading rumors about me not having actually trained to become a Greybeard. The Thalmor-backed Mages College kept quote-unquote fact-checking my ability to use the Thum. Some of them even went as far as to say that the Thum itself is a myth in its entirety. They couldn't afford to have people know that someone with an ability such as this stands against the Thalmor. I sought to prove them wrong, and what better way to do it than personally showing that puppet of a High King how to say unrelenting force in the ancient dragon tongue.
I like this mortal. He thinks a lot like a Dova.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem.
Last question from the same guy. What are your thoughts on the Civil War?
I will win. That is all I can say.
I just hope this armistice lasts.
I don't care for Enwa wars.
The more of you send each other to Sovngarde, the more food I'll get.
Don't drool too much. The poor intern is going to have to clean it up.
Here's a request by, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this. Make Tullius or Martin Septim as a new character.
Yes, let's just invite Tullius here into my studio. What could possibly go wrong?
Why not? The Greybeards and Dragonborn helped negotiate an armistice, didn't they? Why not make it permanent?
We don't need Tullius here for that. Hear me, Empire. My terms are the following. We'll hold a giant festival in honor of hero god Talos, and you withdraw your army from Skyrim. That is all.
While you're at it, kindly remove yourselves from Morrowind as well.
Here are a couple of questions from It's Chevnot Jeff for all of you. To Jarl Bulgruf. Did you ever take care of that little trouble with your boy concerning a whisper behind a suspicious door in your castle?
No. Dragonborn did that for me. Took the sword for himself, the little rascal.
Wait, that farm tool wields a whispering sword?
Yes. Why?
It would explain why I saw him revive a beggar only to cut him down again. And he did that repeatedly.
I don't like the sound of this.
Next question goes to Lord Dagoth Ur. What's your latest scheme in the farm tool recruitment program?
For now, I'm happy with just spending time with my kin from House Dagoth. However, should there a time arise where I need a labor force, I could always just use my old reliable. Unless Devaith Fear has somehow managed to find a cure.
Next question is for our local Jarl. Ulfric, if you had a non-elf that you'd hate the most, who would it be?
Nazim, obviously.
Huh. I was expecting General Tullius or Legate Rika.
And his last question is for Alduin. Do you ever think about kidnapping Delphine and have her come face to face with Parthernax and see what happens?
That Tahrodis Nivari in Dock should hope that I never meet him face to face.
Who the hell is this Delphine anyway? I only hear bad things about her.
She's an innkeeper in some small backwater called Riverwood. One of the rudest and most entitled women I've ever met. If I had to choose a human I hated the most, it'd probably be her.
Really? Even more than Nazim?
Absolutely more than Nazim. Nazim at least knows how to make money.
Damn.
The next one is for Lord Dagoth by, himself, I guess. Are the 5 songs of King Wulfharth true when they state that you actually tricked the Nords into marching on Red Mountain all those years ago?
Hold on, what?
He's asking about the Battle of Red Mountain. I'll try to give you the gist of it, but it's somewhat difficult to understand. I knew that Wulfharth was searching for the heart of Lorkhan, and my plan was to tell him, and use his attack as a diversion, while I either take control of or destroy Numidium. Back then I thought that I couldn't afford to let such power fall into the hands of anyone except either Nerevar's or mine. Then Dumak, in his desperation, activated Numidium, which I am pretty sure caused a dragon break.
Atid Ahran. I remember it being caused twice by that Sunvar.
What ensued was a clusterfuck of epic proportions, and the only thing that I know for certain is that I somehow traded my life for godhood, and that the Dwemer met their end in every single timeline before they all converged back into one. I only retain a hazy memory of all the details, and due to the nature of a dragon break, I am pretty sure that all of the accounts of that battle carry some truth in them, even the ones told by that cursed false god Vivek. I have also heard that Vivek calls it the Red Moment. I am hereby officially renaming that dragon break to the Dagoth Moment, because it's where I became a god.
I don't really care whether you call yourself Ra, but just don't cause another Teed Ahran. Dad really hates having to work overtime.
This question is from Serleo 1031. Jarl Ulfric, do you think you're stronger than Jarl Bolgruf?
So Ulfric, how about it? Jarl Bolin versus Jarl Thuum.
I'm going to be diplomatic and just say that it certainly wouldn't be as easy as it was with Torig.
Here we have a couple questions from someone who's well known. Lord Sotha Sil. Greetings. I am Sotha Sil, past and now once again Lord of the Clockwork City. Returned to Mundus through the power of the mechanical heart. It has been a while since I was able to gaze upon the lands of Tamriel, and much to my dismay, my native Morrowind stands decimated following the events of the Red Year. Thus, I turned on my Dwemer computer to catch up on recent events. During the course of my studies, I came across this news channel being run by Ulfric, and decided to chime in. I've come up with 3 questions for those present.
I'll have to admit the thought of Sotha Sil watching Ulfric's schizo rants does entertain me slightly.
To Alduin the World Eater, what made you decide that abandoning your duty as an aspect of Akka and not ending the current Kalpa was worth doing? Please go into detail.
Firstly, I have not abandoned my duty. In fact, it is still my destiny to lead this world to its rebirth. It might be that my dad thought it was too early, which is why him and Khan sent Dovahkiin. When Dovahkiin defeated me, I scattered my soul across Lane in order to prevent Dovahkiin from devouring it. The other parts of my soul, and the rest of my powers with it, shall return eventually. But it will take an amount of time that even I consider to be great.
To Bolgruf the Greater, Jarl of Whiterun, how did the Ebony Blade end up in your possession?
I found that evil sword by chance. We tried to destroy it, but not even the Skyforge's fires could melt that cursed thing. I warned Dragonborn against using it multiple times, but I couldn't stop him. He hasn't shown any signs of succumbing to its influence, but if he ever were to, then only the gods can help us.
Lastly, to the leader of the Stormcloaks, Ulfric, Jarl of Windhelm, please explain how a trial by combat can be considered fair and legitimate, if one of the combatants can simply shout and turn the other party into a red stain.
Torig had all the time and resources to train himself, had he wanted to. His problem wasn't that he couldn't shout. His problem was that he wasn't a warrior at all. I and probably every other Jarl would have defeated him handily, even without the Thuum. As explained before, I wanted to prove not only my strength, but also disprove Thalmor lies. No, it wasn't fair. Just like how being punished for worshipping a god the Thalmor are jealous of isn't fair either.
As for the false Sharmat, he will get no question from me. Instead, Vorin, take these 20 pieces of gold that the Imperials use for currency as compensation for the pieces of the Akulakan that I was able to salvage from the depths of Red Mountain. Currently, the Akulakan is working well in its new role as farming equipment.
Honestly, I'm not even mad at this point. You 3 betrayed me, and in turn I destroyed your idiotic false god religion. And you can have a Kulakan. I don't need it anymore. Not saying that we're on friendly terms, but we're even, Sil. For now.
This one is addressed to all of you by Arsenic 2813. So are you guys going to start doing daily D&D sessions as well?
I think the producer wants to answer this one.
The producer is saying that we can't really steal someone else's shtick. 3 more questions by Marcel Panoff 8801. Lord Dagothur, I understand that Lorcan's heart was destroyed. But can't you dig through Masser and Secunda to scavenge for other organs? Like his spleen, lung, or bladder?
Does this mask look like a space helmet to you? Besides, the moons being the remains of Lorcan is only a theory. One that would be extremely difficult and dangerous to confirm. And even if it was Lorcan's remains, it doesn't have to mean that the rest of Lorcan's body is of any use. His divine center is what truly matters as far as I am concerned. Lastly, the heart of Lorcan cannot be truly destroyed. Let's just leave it at that.
Next one is for Jarl Bulgruf. As a father of 3, you must have a lot of paternal experience. I've recently become a father myself, but I'm unsure how to approach raising my newborn, Shorebjorn Rustbeard. Any advice?
Ha! The newborn phase is the easiest one, believe me. Soon your child will grow, and you will suddenly find yourself worrying about a lot more than just feeding your newborn and changing its diapers. How to raise a child well is a question that any good father struggles with. I will tell you the answer that my father gave me when I asked him that very same question. There comes a time for every man and woman where they have to pass on their torch or let it go out. But in our family, it's not just a torch. We pass on a crown, and with it a great amount of power. But much more importantly, an even greater amount of responsibility. Always remember that you're not just raising your own child, you're also raising a future Jarl. Those words weigh heavy on me to this day. I'm sorry if this didn't answer your question, but I'm sure you'll find your way.
This one is for the producer. I see your connections spread wide and you've managed to film many esteemed leaders and divines. Care to shed insight into your future guests and great personas? Unless studio plans are an industry secret, that is. The producer says that he wants to keep it a surprise, and that our subscribers should stay tuned for more. The final, question is by a guy named Aaron Young 6732. Do it clap.
With Ashlander chicks, it always claps.